Alright guys, today I'm going to show you how to make a browser and Real Studio 2012. This is a really good application, or just, it's not really an application, but it's a downloaded software. It's really good software for Windows, Linux, and Mac. So I'm on the Mac. And so once you start out, you want to make a desk project. Man, I'm not ready today for a tutorial, but whatever. So let's get going. What I want to do first is I want to change my width to 1000. You don't have to do this, but this is what I want to do. And I change my height to 600. And I'm just going to size that out to my screen here. I'm going to name it browser. You name it whatever you want. Basically, you want to name it what your browser is going to be called. And I'm just going to turn resize off. Alright, there we go. I'm going to add this button, the maximize button. Alright, first things what we're going to do is we're going to add the objects. Then we're going to add, I'm going to lock the objects. Then I'm going to code them, and then I'm going to show you that it works. Alright, so first things, the objects. What you want to do for the object is first bring in the HTML viewer. You can just find that in the objects menu, and I'm just going to size it out to a certain size. As you see, it does lock to the screen. Alright, next thing you're going to need is the push button, and you're going to need 4 push buttons to make a nice looking browser. So I'm just going to copy and paste this 3 times, just so I can save some time. Alright. And then you're going to need a text field. So just drag that in there. Make sure your text field's pretty big so they can see what they're typing. Alright. We got all the objects. Now we're going to lock the objects. Starting with the first box. We're going to make sure it's locked left and locked top. Make sure all 4 of these boxes, you don't have to place them the same, but if they're placed the same as mine, just as a tutorial, you might want to do it the way I'm doing it. You want to make sure, if they're on the left of the middle of the screen, you want to make sure it's locked left. And for this, you want to lock it left, top, and right. And now for the HTML viewer, you want to lock it all. Alright. And now we're going to name them. So, go down to the caption. This one's going to be back. You can either call it back, or you can put an arrow. I'm just going to put arrows. And we're going to put a forward arrow on here, which is going to be forward. Then we're going to type refresh. And then we're going to type search as the search bar. And for where you're going to put the address of the website or whatever you want to go to, you're going to make sure you go to text down here under initial state and type in HTTP, the double button and 2 backslash, and enter. And that's because some people might not know that you need to have HTTP, the 2 dots and the backslash, in order to go to the website. And this you do. You can't just type www.youtube.com or whatever example, it doesn't matter. Alright, so now we're going to encode the stuff. Now we're going to only be encoding these 4 buttons here. And it's pretty simple. So, just follow along what I do. So first things first, so you want to type in HTML viewer 1 dot go back and 2 parentheses. Now, the HTML viewer, as you can see here, is the first part of it, is the viewer here. So it's basically telling the viewer that it's going to go back to the last page, the page it was before. Now, go back is basically this button's command function. It's telling it to go back to the last page. Same thing with this, with the forward button we're going to do here in a second. So just exit that page. HTML HTML1 or viewer 1. Oh, my bad. Dot go forward and the 2 parentheses. There we go. And now the refresh. This is kind of the same thing. HTML viewer 1 dot refresh parentheses. Now this is doing the same thing. It's telling the viewer, HTML viewer, to refresh the page. That's what that function of it is. Alright. And search. This is a lot different than the other ones. It's a lot longer. It's not a lot longer, but it's a little bit longer. And the search button, basically, I'll tell you when I get done typing. So type in HTML viewer dot, or viewer1 dot load URL, and then put this in parentheses, text field 1 dot text. Alright, now we're going to go over it. This HTML viewer 1 is basically what it's commanding. Well, whatever. The command is load URL, and it basically, what's in parentheses here is going to tell you what URL to load. It's going to load any address that's in this here. And basically that's what that does. Now, what we can do since we're done is we can test it out. I'm going to go out of editor only view. And one thing I forgot to do, click on your menu bar here to select the whole thing. And make sure your placement and position is on main, so that way it pops up in the middle screen and not on the corner. Now we hit run to test it out. As you see, it pops up, and let's test it. So let's type in www.youtube.com and click search. And as you can see, it loads it up. As you can see, we can't resize it, but when we do make it bigger, it makes this the bar longer, and it holds everything in place. So I think this is a really cool way. It is, so far, this is actually faster than my Google Chrome. Making this web browser is actually faster than my Google Chrome. So, I don't know why that is, but that's basically how to do it. And when you want to build it, you can click the build button and send it to a location. I'm not going to do that since I'm actually in the trial version and I haven't bought it yet. But I'm still going to do some more tutorials for you guys in this. Thanks for watching. Just comment, rate, subscribe, and peace off.